Chase, have you seen many better quarters than Andrew Swallow's first?
No, it's certainly up there. I mean, I think it was 10 clearances in the first quarter, and as much as the ball as you did, I think 17 or 18 possessions. So, but it was, look, he was absolutely fantastic. And against some really good quality inside midfielders from the opposition. I rate Scott Thompson, Riley, Douglas, Sloan, these guys pretty highly. So it was outstanding. But I also thought Jack Zeeble and Daniel Wells, Levi Greenwood played a really important role in that first quarter as well. So I thought the first goal we kicked, I think Andrew Swallow had 2 clearances in the first before we kicked our first goal, and Jack Zeeble played a big part in both of those. So I think our midfield's starting to develop slowly, and Andrew Swallow's now a genuine star of the competition.
It took a long time to break that sort of 4 or so goal sort of barrier with them. Was that pleasing to anything that they held on and they finally?
Yeah, because it has been an issue for us in the past. I mean, we've been in winnable positions, the last few weeks, and we haven't been able to break the opposition's back. We've in a way given them enough hope to think that they could, if they get a roll on, they could get back in the game. So it took us a while to do that, and Lee Adams sort of hurting his knee didn't help. He was outstanding early on too, and so that upset our structure a little bit, and it took us a little while to get that back on track. But I was really pleased with the way the players. I thought fought it out for 4 quarters, probably the best 4-quarter performance of the year.
That's not like conversion rate compared to last week, where you kept that scoreboard pressure going all the time.
Yeah, 18-7 reads a lot better than 7-18. But I've always said that it was all the goal kicking and conversion was always going to be a matter of when it was going to turn, not if. I say that because we've been doing an enormous amount of work on it, and players will continue to do an enormous amount of work on it, and we got the rewards for it today. But it's only a very small step in rectifying what's been a bit of an issue for us all year.
What about the 50-metre penalty? Brad, another 2 today cost you goals. What was your take?
Oh well, one I just completely disregard as I don't blame Jack Zeeble for tackling a guy who plays on. So, and the other one, Scotty Thompson had a brain fade, threw the ball back to the umpire instead of the player. And I've said to him that you can't, you need to keep concentrating in that situation, because there's no point in me asking him what he was thinking, because he wasn't really thinking anything. So he needs to think.
Jack's really, I suppose, showing the benefits of being given that solid, consistent run at the game in the last, I suppose, 8-9 weeks.
Oh well, he's an extremely good player. We've always known that, and he's copped a bit of criticism, but I mean, we've thrown him into a midfield position probably before he was ready, because that's what we needed to do as a footy club, and he's had the broken legs and the hip surgery, and so he just hasn't had a decent run at it for any length of time. So now we've had a long-term aerobic conditioning program in place for him, and he's now running out games better than ever, and what he's doing when he's out in the ground is just what we expected him to do, because he's such a good player. Yeah, it's pretty serious, unfortunately. I mean, was a big collision, and he's got a fractured cheekbone, and he'll have surgery tonight or early tomorrow morning. So we play a pretty brutal contact sport, so those things can happen. But what we ask of Jamie is what we ask of all the players, that when it's their turn to go, they go. And Jamie put his head over the ball and did exactly what we'd ask him to do. And it was a courageous act, but it's what we expect in every contest. But it was courageous nonetheless, and it'll be disappointing to lose Jamie for a few weeks, but hopefully we'll get him back soon.
And Evans, what was it? Just
a slight hyperextension is the diagnosis that the doctor's given me, and we were certainly very cautious with him. It took a long time to get him back on the ground, because I wanted them to be absolutely positive that there was no risk of further damage. And that upset our structure a little bit, but it's really important. He's a really important player to us. So, but he played out the game. He jarred it again, so we're pretty confident there's no damage there, but we'll have it scanned just to make sure.
Just going back to your point with Zee, we also know Petrie's had a run of it now. Greenwood's coming back, Baston not far away. Is that what gives you confidence that, at least results-wise, the second half of the year is going to be stronger for you?
Well, look, I've said it consistently that results are just an outcome of the process we're putting in place, and what I think is really exciting on a massive day for this club, because rightly we should celebrate, a true champion of our football club equaling our games record. But I think what we saw today was some young players coming through that are going to really excite North Melbourne fans for a long period of time. And some of the things that Sean Atley was able to do today gave a glimpse as to what a good player he's going to be. Kieran Harper just oozes class, and the more we can get the ball in his hands, the better. So, when you start to look at these young players who are coming through, and you mentioned Bastanak coming back, and I think it's an exciting time for North fans. And people have asked me constantly, where's the next Brent Harvey coming from? And I always reply, well, there isn't another Brent Harvey. There's only ever going to be one. But we do have some really exciting talent that are going to excite North fans for a long period of time.
Obviously, it's earned universal condemnation. Will you speak to Majak Dor? Obviously, but what are your thoughts on that?
I've spoken to him already, and just reaffirmed to him that our horror, really, and disgust that there are still certain elements in the Australian society that would resort to that sort of disgusting behaviour. And I think that the total condemnation of the incident reflects the Australian attitude towards racial vilification. So, I think it's an extremely rare case, and as it should be. But I hope the VFL deal with it in the harshest possible fashion. And Majak's now part of the North Melbourne Football Club, so to see everyone, not only the players but all the staff and everyone rally around him is what you get when you come to North Melbourne. I've been on the receiving end of that as well. It's a great club to be in, and when things like that happen, you'll have an enormous amount of support.
Can you give me an insight how much it affected him yesterday? You could just see by the look on his face that it clearly hurt him deeply. Can you give me an insight about that?
It did hurt him, and so it should have. Madge is going to come up against a lot of obstacles, in his football career, and he's handled all of them with aplomb so far. I think it rattled him because it's so rare, and he hasn't had to put up with that. Maybe the man who made the comments should do a little bit of research into Madge's background, and maybe just think himself lucky that he was born in this country and gets the opportunities he gets, because that sort of stuff's just not on. And Madge is an inspiration in a way to the Sudanese community, and he's a great example for the Sudanese community. So he had no hesitation in standing up and saying that's not right, because it just opens people's eyes to this issue that is, while rare, still obviously occurs.
Ben Spate obviously got on a lot earlier than he would have otherwise as a substitute. What did you make of his game, Brad?
Yeah, Spadey's an important player to us because he's got genuine speed. Probably saw that last week when Leroy Jetta has got absolute speed for the Swans, and Spadey was with him all the way, so he's got that sort of Jetta type speed. So he's going to be an important part of our side. He got more of an opportunity today, which was good for him. But he's still learning the game, and has got some things that he's got to work on. But he adds that little bit of speed to our side, which we need.